Yo guys, welcome back to another Five Nights Tower Defense video, and today we are going to be checking out the brand new Crying Child that they just released today. So you can see here that you can buy them for either 800 Robux or 30,000 coins. And honestly guys, let's just look at their stats real quick. It says that they do no damage and they slow enemies down. And that is all they do. So the thing is though, their slowing is an AOE slow, I heard, but also I'm pretty sure you can only place one of them down. We're gonna find out during the showcase, but let's see if we can get a good enchant on them. None of these damage enchants are actually gonna do anything for them, so I'm just gonna go for range 3. I just got it first try because that's gonna be the most beneficial enchant. I don't think speed would factor into anything. Puppet's Nightmare would obviously be the best, so you can have the most amount of range, but honestly they're obviously going to be a support character. I don't think they were ever destined to be an attacking type of character, since it's like Crying Child. They seem more of a supportive character. But yeah, let's just try them out though, I guess. We're still gonna give them the springbonnie booster and shiny Hawaii endo booster, just for like the clickbait of like, oh, I'm gonna use all the boosters on them. But no 1% enchant, because the only one that actually would be good on them would be Puppet's Nightmare, but I'd rather not get that until I know for sure they're gonna be good. Also, getting a shiny version of this character would be no point. You're genuinely just getting it for the rarity aspect of it. But yeah, let's just go ahead and take them to Fnaf 3 Night 6. There's honestly just not much to show with this character though. Oh, it looks like you can actually place 2 of them, thankfully. But all they do is just slow. Like, we're not gonna see any DPS or anything. It's pretty cool though. They just flash their lights and then they get slowed down by a lot. Here's their range with level 1 and no booster, and just them level 1. But as you can see, they're not actually doing any damage. It's gonna help out a lot for AOE type of characters and whatnot though. Okay, now we have all of my defenses down. And yeah, it looks like their slowing is actually working on everyone that the flashlight is hitting. So that is like good support. All the upgrades do is increase their range, and apparently they have 5 levels, so just more money to spend on them for no reason. Let's just look at lowest stats and max stats. So at level 1, just placing them down with range 3, which I would recommend at least getting for them to make them as viable as possible. You don't really need to go all the way for Puppet's Nightmare. Maybe if they do end up getting a buff or something, you can. But yeah, for now, range 3 is their best enchant, and you can see that they are maxing out at 19.5 range, and they do indeed do AOE slowing. You can see that both of them have their ice cube things. Yep, all of them do. And next upgrade is 1,000, then 1,400, 1,800, and 2,000. And they max out at range of 28.6, and that's pretty solid. Obviously getting it with range 3 is optimal, and this is like the whole range that they will be slowing down. They do seem a lot better than Amalgam, but they are just another Amalgam type character, and I don't really see a good reason for buying them. Honestly, they would be extremely broken if they did do any sort of damage. Just looking at how slow they make the enemies, it's actually extremely strong. Like, look at the difference between this endo and then this endo right here who's being slowed down. And of course, he's going to be slowing down all of the endos. The thing is that it's a splash and not an AoE. If it was AoE, it would be even more broken. So for the best case scenario of a slowing support unit, it would be if it was actually like an AoE slowing. So all this whole circle would be slowed down. And you can see on that other side the difference the slowing makes. Like, they practically already made it there, but then with the slowing here, it's actually good. So I can actually see this guy being a contender for best support. Like, he can replace springbonnie for this guy. And like, while Amalgam just didn't stand a chance, I think this guy actually does. And we can go ahead and give them the shiny Hawaii booster, and their range will increase by a lot. We'll go ahead and max out the shiny Hawaii. And they go up to 42 range, which is like actually good range. We'll go ahead and give him the springbonnie support as well, but obviously that won't do anything. And The slowness is also extremely consistent, so I don't think that would be a factor either. I think he'll mostly be good as a support for towers who don't have that good of range. Like you can see that this glitch puppeteer, especially with Puppet's Nightmare, is gonna have so much range to cover the entire map. So in that situation, I think Spring Bonnie would be better. But if you're using characters like Leviathan, Shadow Bonnie, small range characters like that, this Crying Child could just be a lot better, especially since their slowing also just groups everyone up as well, which is good for those AOE and piercing characters. So honestly not that bad, but honestly not that good either. Like there is, I think like shiny Endo and whatnot is better, and I just don't think it's worth getting the Crying Child for 30,000 coins. Like if you do have the coins, then might as well. Like it could be good, especially if they do end up getting buffed and do some damage, so they can be an extremely strong starter if they do even the tiniest amount of damage. So he's doing damage per 0.1 second, which he's not actually doing damage, but if he did like 5 damage per 0.1 second, he would be doing 50 damage per second. While that is bad, it would actually be good with the slow because of how slow everyone was. Support characters like this is really hard to show off, but I think I got like the point through where their support is actually good, and I think I can see this type of slow being viable. And they kind of just hit almost every mark of a good slow support character. The only mark they didn't hit is the fact that if they do damage or not, but there's a chance that that won't matter. So it's good that they at least have 2 placements. It's good that with range 3, their range is not actually that bad. And it's good that they're the first one with an AoE slow. AoE slow has been a really big factor in these other slow characters not being that good, and only really Abyssal being good since he does damage with it. So the only thing like Abyssal would be missing would be AoE, but then the only thing Crying Child is missing is the damage. Also Abyssal costs a lot, but then Crying Child doesn't. Like this price is actually very fair. The only thing that does suck about them is that you're only upgrading them just for range, and starting off their range isn't that good. Really hard to tell though. I think that this guy won't actually really be seeing any play if in totality his support isn't better than shiny Spring Bonnie, because I still do think that it's best to have only one support. So you would have like an end game tower, your starting tower, your support, and then whatever you need that helps out with the rest of the game. Either another starter or a mid-game tower, most likely, like Scott. But I can see it being viable. Like this type of team could end up being really good, where you have a good starter, good mid-game, good late game, and then 2 good supports. It's just hard to tell if having 2 supports would overcome having like another good end game or mid game type of character. But yeah, overall not that bad. I just think that people are definitely gonna undervalue this character a lot, but at least we do have a character that does this kind of mechanic of AoE slowing. It's just that maybe buying it for that many coins isn't that good. So I think this would be the first time I would recommend you guys to not buy a character for coins, and you might as well save up for the next character, since they are releasing these characters so frequently, and I know you guys can't always afford to grind for these characters, and it would take so much time off of you guys, so you guys can take a break and not buy this Crying Child. Anyways, that's gonna be the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoy it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.